Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I've been told by my assistant that this is something that I would enjoy greatly. Not sure entirely why, but I do see what appears to be a train power car. Well, I don't know it's a power car, but I do see a train, and I don't see a good way of connecting to another carriage. Yeah, there is a door which would suggest there is another way, but I'm going to assume it's a power car because I can't see any firm couplings. So I've been told I'll enjoy this. I'm not sure if I will, but here here we go. Accept. Play demo. I don't want to skip. Sorry, no. Let's not skip any of it. Let's start. Let's start from the beginning. Okay, 0.9.1.5D. Don't know. I said point instead of dot there, but I did. DENSHATTAC. Could be a K. No, that can't be a K. So it's Denshattack. With a soft, with a no kicking K. And then there's characters, which I can't identify. Play demo. Add to your wish list. Delete progress. Settings. Report bug. Exit. And then there are scrolling. Well, it's a smiley face. Scrolling text I can't read. Move. WSD. E. Oh, okay. Okay, right.
Japan, the future.
Okay.
The merciless climate crisis has pushed humanity into air-purifying dome cities.
Oh, no, that's
A
terrible
future
news.
not so distant from yours.
Oh, that's terrible
A
news.
company called Nigel has connected the country through an underground network of supersonic railway systems.
That's brilliant news.
The high-tech cities have become crowded, jammed, full of families pursuing a better life.
Wow.
Really?
well, let's think
Who
about the
cares about
engineering
all
troubles, the engineering problems of that. But
It's a story about fishing,
I care.
about artisans, about farmers. This is a story about outlaws, orphans.
Don't make it a story about outlaws, orphans, and vandals. Make it a story about
This is
trains.
a story about those who remain outside.
I can have supersonic train. If I can have a supersonic train, I want the supersonic train. Chipper one. Emies. Who are the raw men? And what makes them so attractive that we would deliver things to them? These Emi, these tracks are getting worse by the day.
Well, no time to waste.
Emi, well, no time to waste. Tap away to start engine. Okay, so it is. So it's a power car all the same. No pantographs, so it's going to be diesel. Not nearly enough room for a gas turbine. It's going to be diesel. I don't think it's really got the space for a diesel electric. I'm going to have to say diesel or diesel electric. Probably diesel. Diesel pneumatic, possibly. Tap away to start the engine. So okay, well, train, good. You may define train as needing more than one car, and if you do, I do apologise. I'll just say car. So, no. Oh no. Okay. Well. Alright, that might do it for me, folks. Was that? It's a bit much. Am I a little old heart? Although it's not especially a little heart, it's Some would say enlarged. I wouldn't. I've not seen the scans. Yeah, okay, I will press Q to honk your horn. Honk to not infect the environment, sorry. Affect the environment. Eh. So, and Q. Honk Q. Ah! Oh, no, wait, I'm not ready. Ah! Oh, no. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I've lost Q. Where's Q? No, it's too far. Oh, no. How do I stop? How do I stop? Oh, no. What happened there?
I'll get it right this time.
No.
I won't give up.
No. Nope. Nope. Too much for me. I'm afraid. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me, ladies and gentlemen. I wish all the best for any media with positive depictions of trains, and I'm sure that there are those who will enjoy that greatly. I certainly enjoyed the bit where they talked about really fast trains and they showed trains, but I'm not ready to be on the really fast train. You can't just go that fast. You've got to work up to it. You've got to accelerate. You don't well, evidently it did accelerate, but you don't accelerate that fast. You don't accelerate that fast. How stinking fast was that? You have, ladies and gentlemen, let's assume for a moment that, okay, this is gonna sound absolutely balmy what I'm about to say, but it's a hypothetical. It's a hypothetical. Imagine you have a supersonic train, and no, this isn't the supersonic train. Okay, imagine you could go that fast, that quick, just like that, and there are no, and in a thing you can stand up in. That's a bad idea. It's a very, very bad idea. I love trains. I love trains, but you do not want a train that accelerates that quickly. Could you make a train that accelerates that quickly? Well, that depends. There's very, very little friction between the steel wheels and the steel rails, which is actually a good thing. It reduces rolling resistance, which makes trains so gosh darn efficient. But one of the things is, if you try to accelerate really, really fast, what you'll do is not convert much of that power, but however it's being generated. I'm going to assume that's diesel. You convert that chemical energy into rotational energy, and that rotational energy is just wasted on spinning the wheels, which is turned into friction and then heat and sound. So you're wasting all of that energy and you're spinning your wheels, not really going anywhere. Eventually, if you keep doing that, you'll keep going faster and faster and faster and faster. But let's assume you now have something that's exceptionally high friction, and you can get that much acceleration out of something that weighs so much. Don't. It would be a terrible idea, because maybe if you were strapped in, but I don't think it would be comfortable. Just you accelerate at a gentle pace. At a gentle pace. You can slowly bring up the speed because you don't have the friction in order to do it faster, and because you don't want to do it fast. Because one of the brilliant things about trains is if you're in them, you can stand up and you walk around. You can go places. When was the last time you got in a car and thought, oh, I'll walk around somewhere? You can't. It's one of the reasons why cars are inferior. But aside from that, oh, blimey, it's now getting in a very fast train, fine, you can go very fast, but you don't want to accelerate that quickly. I don't know how fast that train was just going there. I'm going to assume that there are. I'm not going to speculate how fast it's going, but there are definitely trains that can go that fast. Maglev ones. Maglev. But you don't want to accelerate that quickly. Going that speed, fine. It's a railway. You know that you know where you're going, and the point is that it's clear. So you can go that fast, whereas you can't do that in a car because there are other cars on the road. So I don't want to go into this and just start saying how cars are inferior to trains. They are, but that's not my point. I can't take it going that far. I can't take it going that fast. I can't. Oh, my heart, my eyes, my brain. Let's pivot. Let's pivot to what I said the beginning of supersonic trains. Supersonic trains sounds amazing, and I want to see that. And that is something I'll accept as part of this fictional world, because it is fictional. It's fictional world. Do you want a supersonic train in the real world? No. No, I don't think so. It'd have to be a really small tube. It'd have to be a really small tube. It'd have to be a very small tube. You can have a very long... The only way it makes sense is if you've got if you need to deliver a very small... You have to deliver something from one place to another exceptionally quickly. And in that case, I think you could get away with the idea of getting a very, very long, very small tube, and you could reduce the friction in there by pumping out the air. But that is a significant engineering problem. Now imagine you're doing it on the scale of a train. Oh, good gracious! Okay, let's go through some of the reasons, some of the ways you would achieve this. Okay, you can either have a train with a frankly staggering amount of power, tractive effort, torque, all of those things, because you're going to need all of them. You're going to need all of them. Horsepower. Let's focus on horsepower, because of course it's torque. Well, it's work. So it's the amount of work you can do. It's not just power. So it's torque and the speed at which you can do the work. Now, okay, I'm straying. You would need. Let's say that you have a train with a staggering amount of horsepower. Staggering amount of horsepower. You would need it because as you get faster, air resistance doesn't scale in exactly the way you'd think. I don't know whether it's an exponential curve, the resistance, but the faster you go through air, the harder it is to go even faster through air. There's aerodynamic resistance and then aerodynamic heating, but even if we go away from the heating, just the resistance gets harder and harder to push through, so you'd need a phenomenal amount of energy. So you can counter that slightly by having a more aerodynamic train, which you would see on the bullet train, famous not only because it's called the bullet train, not only because it goes really fast, but because of how it was shaped, and people would look at the nose of the bullet train, the Shinkansen. Well, the Shinkansen is the name of the line. Anyway, you would look at that, and you'd say, "Oh, it looks like the rounded nose of a bullet." I've not really seen many bullets, but I'll accept that's what it looks like. Now that was to lower aerodynamic drag as going faster, but that was in the 1950s, I think, or 1960s. I don't remember entirely. The design changed over time as it went faster and faster, and it got better at modelling aerodynamics. The shape of that has changed, so it now looks. Some people say it looks like a duck-billed platypus. Never seen a duck-billed platypus myself. I think they're freaks of nature. Don't look up the facts. Okay. I don't want it. Only the left one. Only the left one works. What is wrong with what is wrong with platypi or platypuses or whatever? No. That shape is to lower aerodynamic drag. Now, you can do that, but you go faster and faster and faster, and because that aerodynamic drag rises so sharply, even if you've got an exceptionally aerodynamic design, you eventually go fast enough, and you start encountering that drag again. What you're doing by having a more aerodynamic nose and tail, of course, because the train can go in either direction, is that you're encountering that resistance further down the line. down the line. Oh, goody. Okay, so the idea for having a supersonic train would be that once you've passed Mach 1, then you get the supersonic boom. Let's leave that aside. That's another problem. But the way they said that they would do that is to have a specialised tubes, which I have to assume they are evacuating the air from. Now, can you have a pressurised train? Absolutely, absolutely. In the right conditions, you'd have one underwater. It wouldn't make any sense to make one underwater, but there's no reason you couldn't make a pressurised train. So people inside, yep, they stay alive. Tubes. Let's talk a little thing about aerodynamic pressure. So we've gone through aerodynamic resistance. Now aerodynamic pressure. Now this is let's go for PSI. If you want metric, I'm sorry, that doesn't come straight to mind. I'm afraid I'm going to go for pounds per square inch. I'm not going to do any maths here. But what we're saying is for every square inch you have, no. That's okay. I'm going to simplify that down. A small thing, you take all of the air out, doesn't have much space on the outside for the air to press in on. So it's much easier to take air out of something that's small. When it's small, it's less strong, but actually, the smaller something is, this is the square cube law, of course, because of course a material's strength does not scale with its size. Size scales more than strength. It's a 3x versus a 2x. Well, I'm saying strength there. Well, actually, what's 2xing and 3x is actually volume, and I'm getting distracted. It is absolutely bonkers. A staggering idea to not. Can you? Let's assume in Japan, because they say Japan. Can you get through a tunnel? Yes. You make tunnels through mountains. They did that. Incredible engineering work. Now imagine if you didn't just have the mass and weight of the mountain on top of that tunnel, but also you had a vacuum, or yeah, well, it's not going to be a perfect vacuum, but a much, much lower internal air pressure. That's not only having air, that's not only having the land over top push down, you also have the no, it's not a vacuum, but the low pressure inside pulling the walls in. And to do that over the kind of distances they're talking about, it's absolutely staggering. Now, I did say this is a work of fiction, so I wouldn't interrogate it too greatly. But I do want you to know, if someone tells you we should have supersonic trains, I would love to have a supersonic train, but I don't ask for it because it's absolutely bonkers to actually implement. The mere thought of it, and then once you've evacuated all the, let's assume for the moment you evacuated enough air from this amount of space, which is, I'm going to just say, practically speaking, impossible. Let's assume you've done the impossible. Now you've got a thing that must by thermodynamically must by definition produce heat, and it's got nowhere to vent the heat to. How are you going to transfer that heat? Through the wheels in the ground? No, that's going to get so... Oh, it's going to get warm. Oh, stuffy isn't going to begin to cover it. Oh, boy, howdy. I'll stop talking about that now. Okay, thank you very much. To the people who made more media about trains, thank you. I like media about trains because I like trains. It's too rich for my blood. And when I say rich, I mean sparse. The speed is too fast.